Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna share something very personal with you all. As many of you know that I'm all about transparency, right, and honesty in trading. While most traders on Instagram and YouTube always want to show off their wins, but whenever I have a loss, I want to share my losses as well, because this is the loss that I took today on one trade only, and I lost 7,500 bucks on one trade. It's definitely a little bit bigger than usual, and it was a little tough pill to swallow, but it's very important for me to kind of share this with you all, and like this, because it doesn't matter how long you've been trading, losses are part of the game. And I don't want to just show you the loss and the trade that I took, but also I did journal for about probably last 2.5 hours. I was sitting down reflecting why did this happen, and I want to show you the losses, and I also want to go over the lessons that I kind of learned from this loss as well. All right, so I kind of divided this video. I will divide this video into a few different parts, and let's just talk about this, right? Why did this happen, and kind of where did it get started, and then we'll talk about the trade, right? So the first thing that I want to kind of go over is the mindset that I had while I was approaching the day, right? So let's start with the mindset leading into the trading day. As many of you know, like if you check the time right now, it's 3:45 a.m. in the morning, Saturday morning. I'm in Australia right now, right? So my market opens late at night. So my market opens at like 11:30 p.m. at night. So that means out of the whole day, my market is the last thing that I do in the day, and then I walk away. I go to bed. That's how I do it. Right? This is the schedule that I have. I walk away and I go to bed. But now, this is what happened. Because I'm in Australia, I trade at night. So whatever happened during the day to me kind of influences my last 1 hour of trading. And today, most of the time, what I do is if I have a shit day, like let's say, in my other businesses, if any of the stuff, if in general in life, if you have a shit day, I usually size down big time for my trading. That's my way of protecting myself from myself. But today, I had some wins, like big time stuff that was stuck from last few months, right? Some stuff going on with the bank that was stuck, some stuff going on with the immigration, because I'm a first generation immigrant, so I got to deal with that stuff as well. Some stuff stuck with the lawyers, all sort of stuff, the taxes, all sort of stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff that was stuck, and because it was Friday today, during the day, and I had a lot of stuff that I was working on that just everything kept getting stacked, right? One win after the other, and we were getting a lot of stuff done. So I had a lot of wins outside my trading, right? Before I started trading. And that kind of made me feel over optimistic for the day before I even started trading. So kind of, the little self in me was thinking like I'm the best. Like, and I had done my analysis of the charts and everything that I was watching before I approached the day, right? I had done it all. And I was like, okay, I sat down, made my plan. I'm like, okay, I know the levels that I'm watching. Now it's time for me to execute the trades. But, many of us know, even the market has a very sweet way of humbling us. It humbles us, right? Because I'm winning in the day, now I'm approaching the day with like this mindset of like I'm the best. But market humbled me from one trade that I took that made me a big loss, right? Now the first trade of the day that I took it looked very promising, right? Usually I have a rule where the first trade of the day, I have a rule. The first trade, whatever first trade it is, I take small size. So this is my trading rule that I have. Alright, first trade, take small size, just in case if the trade doesn't go according to your plan, so you can get out, right? And couple indicators that I want to talk about here before we move forward. All right. So the first indicator here is ORB. All right, opening range breakout. ORB, first 15-minute range ORB. Then this yellow line running here is the open price. All right, open price. Then we have this dotted line which is sitting right here is 200 moving average, and I'll tell you why it's important. All right, and also we have a pre-market high level sitting here, and also we have another critical level of 528, which is an hourly level on my charts sitting there as well. So basically what's happening is around this area we had such a huge confluence, So what's confluence? Confluence is when there's more than one reason for you to jump into a trade. That's called confluence, right? So confluence, more than one reason. Now there's a one reason of, and I was looking at puts. Initially we had a downtrend. 10 o'clock news, consumer numbers were coming out, and it pumped up. Then I saw this huge wick at the top. I'm like, cool. It got rejected of this 528 level, which is a hourly level, like support and resistance level. There's 200 moving average, it's getting rejected of that. There's an open price sitting here, it's getting rejected of that. There's an ORB level, orb sitting there, it's getting rejected of that. Market high level, getting rejected of that. There's plenty of reasons for me to go into a play to short this, right? And I didn't short it straight away. I waited for the next candle to kind of open so I can short this. But that was a reasoning for me to kind of take this play, if that makes sense. And I felt comfortable. The indicators were aligned, the market conditions seemed favorable. We had a huge wick at the top, which kind of made me feel like, okay, maybe the sellers are taking over. I felt confident also because as I explained, my whole day I was winning big. So I felt confident because the confidence was, kind of as a momentum coming to my trading. However, things kind of took a turn, right? And everything started kind of started going a little south, not straight away, but I entered on this particular candle, and I'm not gonna lie, just gonna keep it real, I did 0 days to expiration and I did 210 contracts. My original thing was that I'll do 250 contracts. Now this is not normal position size for me, this is not abnormal position size for me. I do this stuff all the time. I'll take 250 300 contracts on SPY because each contract is trading like at $70 each. $70 times 250, that's, if you think about it, because I've been trading for a while, it's not a lot of money, but it is a lot of money. But now it's a first trade of the day. As I said, first trade of the day, I take small position size just in case if things do not go according to my what I'm thinking, I have chance to kind of come back from the loss. But the first trade, just because I'm winning big on the day already and there's so much confluence sitting here, what I did, I was feeling super confident and I did big position size. So I jumped in puts here. My stop loss for me jumping into puts right here, based on this, I don't hate this trade. Will I take this trade again? Absolutely. Because I was risking about 60 cents to potentially make 85 cents, which is insane. Like, it's insane, right? Risk to reward is insane. So basically I'm risking $1 to make $1.50 back. So the risk to reward makes sense here. The thing that didn't make sense kind of here was only thing, which was I did a big position size just because everything's working in my day. I kind of got overly optimistic, right? And this is how a trade went. It went, and the trade started going against me. And despite the initial optimism that I had, I kind of got out again probably around this, the highs around here. Now, I was down about 50% on this trade just because of 0 days to expiration, and also it took about 15-20 minutes for my stop loss to hit, and hence I lost $7,500 almost. Now, I was down 50% on this trade, as I explained, but the thing that really wrecked me up, which we'll talk about in a minute, but it's like kind of, what I kind of went through was, imagine you have done your research and everything kind of seemed perfect, and you place a trade, everything looks perfect, and it started going in your favor. So I entered here, it started going in my favor, I'm happy, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm winning big time, I'm not even worried about losing. It was kind of those. And suddenly the market just like next candle goes up, it closes bearish, so it's like, all right, you know what, it's still looking not bad. Next candle doesn't close bearish, and then I'm looking for reasons to stay in a trade. I'm like, oh, there's less volume on this green candle, looking good. Now I'm looking for reasons to stay in a puts trade, right? And before you know it, I'm down like 50%. Now I would take this trade again if I have to, but you know why it really affected me, which is the next point which I have, is this affected me emotionally a lot. Financially, yes, absolutely. It wasn't just the financial loss that affected me though. Emotional toll was insane. Now losing $7,500 is absolutely more than what I normally lose on a losing trade, but what really got to me was the opportunity cost that I kind of took a hit on, right? After, like, think about it for a minute. After taking such a hit on one trade that I took, and I was down $7,500 now, you know what really happened in my brain? I'm like, my confidence is shaken. I don't want to trade anymore for the day. I don't want to trade anymore. But at the same time, in my Discord, everybody else is printing. The other admins are calling out plays towards the upside, while I'm sitting here taking a trade toward the downside, while everybody else is taking trades towards the upside and, you know, making all the money. Like, people going long on Meta, people going along on QQQs, people going long on Apple, and I'm just sitting there, be the only ones, you know. Oh my god. Because my confidence is shaken so much, I didn't want to trade anymore for the day. But I stayed on the voice, I stayed, you know, I did my thing, which meant I missed out on the potential uptrend that kind of came after this. You know, you want to know what happened after this? This is what happened after this. So this is where I exited, and this one big push that happened. And this was not just on SPY. This happened on all the names. Look at this. Microsoft went. You see this Microsoft went? We had Nvidia that went. We had Qs that went. And this is the trade everybody was catching in the Discord at that stage. I missed the whole thing. Tesla went. I missed the whole thing. And everybody in my own Discord is catching this, which is the whole point. They're making money. But at this stage, I'm just like, man, everybody's making money but me. Like, what the heck? So basically what happened was, because of my loss, I missed out on big uptrend that the market gave us, just because I took big position size on my first contract. Does it make sense? Think about a time when you faced a big setback at your work, right? For example, just quickly, or in your personal life, right? The immediate reaction that we have is to pull back and reassess, right? That's the first thing we do. You broke something. What's the first thing? You pull back and you are, oh man, I dropped the plate. I dropped the coffee cup. Oh man. But what do? After that, you straight away, you're like, all right, you know what? Let me just make sure I do not get hurt. Make sure I do not, you know, hurt myself stepping on the glass or something. That's what kind of I did in my trading as well. I didn't want to take a trade anymore. My confidence was shaken, but at the same time, I kind of tried to protect myself from, you know, just in case. I was looking at everything as like, oh, everything's out there probably to get me today. Or the mindset happens. Doesn't matter how long you've been trading. There are always going to be some emotions involved in trading, right? Because money is on the line, if that makes sense. When there's money on the line, there's always going to be emotions. And anybody that tells you, oh, you shouldn't have emotions, try to have no emotions in trading, they have no idea what they're talking about. They're always going to be emotions, if that makes sense, right? But there's few lessons that I've learned, and I would love to share this with you. Okay, and this is the time where you go and grab a notebook, if you can. All right, so now, learning from these losses, for me personally, because I literally sat down for 2 hours and I did this whole assessing, and I realized my 3 top things that I need to fix moving forward for myself. And if you go through this stuff where your confidence shakes after the trade, this is what you need to do. First point that I wrote down was risk management. And what is risk management? Now, always have a stop loss. I had a stop loss, but always have a stop loss in place to protect yourself. Like, not in the broker, but just mentally know where you're going to set your stop loss. Because with options, it's a little bit hard to set the stop loss inside the broker, because options move a little bit wild, right? But personally, for me, like for this particular trade, I should have kept my size small, and that would have been my risk management, because it was the first trade of the day, and I should have kept my size small. First trade of the day, size small. Why? Because if the trade turned out to be red, you still have cash available, or you still have the confidence available in you, or the mental capital available in you to take the next trade. Now, if the loss is too big, the mental capital is gone, the financial capital is gone. Now you do not have the, that little feeling of like the confidence for you to take the next trade, if that makes sense, right? That was the first point that I had. Second point that I kind of had was emotional resilience, right? Emotional resilience. Now, of course, this one kind of is like a double-edged sword, right? I don't know if that makes sense, but trading is much about managing your emotions. You need to manage them. You can't control them, but you need to manage them, as it's about executing trades. Trading is more about execution rather than looking for a play, finding a play. It's more about when you find a play, what do you do? Everybody can find plays, but what do you do about when you find a trade, right? So I found this SPY trade, and it was the first trade. Should have followed my loss or my actual rule that I had, right? But then I found my next trade, which was on QQQs. But what did I do about it? I didn't do anything about it. And this one thing I realized, if you take such a big loss, you are pretty much done for the day, right? So after a big loss, it's very crucial to kind of stay calm. I stayed calm. This is a good thing that I did today. I stayed calm. I didn't go all nuts in the next trade, even though I had cash available in my account. I could have gone all nuts and made the money back. But there's one thing that you need to understand. Any money that you make without being disciplined will eventually go back into the market. Be it today, be it 6 months from now. So you got to be disciplined. You can't make money without being disciplined in the market, right? It's kind of like, think about it like, for example, if the loss would have been smaller, right? And you, like, for example, let's say you're playing a sport, and if you make a mistake, you shake it off really quick. Like, oh man, I made a mistake. And you focus on the next one rather than dwelling on what went wrong. You try to learn the lesson from there and you move forward, right? That's called being emotionally resilient. You learn the lesson, you move forward. But just because my loss was so big, it was not just learn
It's
the
4
lesson
o'clock.
and move forward. It was about learn the lesson, sit back. All right, let's assess why did this happen, right? The third one is opportunity cost, and this one is big. This is big, very big. Now recognize that taking a loss doesn't mean that the day is over, the trading day is over. There are always going to be other opportunities in the market. So it's important to kind of stay engaged with yourself to a point where you do not lose so much money in one trade that you miss out on a lot of trades that particular day or the next day. Now today is Friday, so I have Saturday, Sunday, and it's a long weekend, Memorial Day on Monday. So I have plenty of time, kind of 3 days to kind of go over this. I'll be able to forget. But imagine if this was Monday and I took such a big loss on Monday, let's say. My Tuesday is ruined, my Wednesday is ruined, my Thursday is ruined, my Friday is ruined. So because emotionally my confidence is shaken. So now all these days are ruined. Think about it. So it's about the opportunity cost, and there's a point that I always tell everybody who asks me, like, one thing that somebody asked me the other day is like, oh, what's the one thing that you will tell to your younger self about trading? And the only one thing that I'll tell my younger self is trade for tomorrow. Like, if you survive today, you'll be able to make some money tomorrow. If you lost all your money today, you will not be in business tomorrow. So stop trying to trade for today. Trade for the next day, trade for tomorrow. How do I make sure that I do not lose my confidence today? How do I make sure that I do everything right today? How do I make sure that I follow my rules today? How do I make sure that I do not blow my trading account today? If you do everything, you'll be able to trade better for tomorrow, if that makes sense, right? It kind of like, think about it like opportunity cost as, think of it like you're at a train station and you miss a train. Does that mean that I will not just go home, I'll just sleep here? No, you wait for the next one so you can get to your destination. So taking a loss is okay, right? Taking a loss is fine. But what's not fine is you let that loss define the rest of the day or the next day. And that loss usually will be able to define the rest of the day or the next day is if the loss is too big. So just don't lose too much money on one trade. So keep your position size under control where you're like, all right, cool, calm, relax, I'm chill. These are top 3 lessons. Now let's go over what could have been, like, what would have happened if I didn't do this and I I approached the market a little bit different, right? So let's go over that. Now think about it for a minute. Think about it as alternative scenario. Alright, what's the alternative scenario here? So let's consider alternative scenario where I didn't lose so much on the first trade. First trade, instead of 210 contracts, which is a lot of contracts for me, I did 30 contracts as usually, which I do for the first trade of the day, right? I did that, 30 contracts. It was about $70 a contract, and that's like $2,100 position size, and I lost 50% of this, right? And I lost $1,100, for example. I lost $1,100 on my first trade. Sweet, right? What would have happened if then I took the Q trade, with 30 contracts. Just because I took a loss, I'll still keep my position size small. Let's say if those contracts are 70% as well, right? $70 as well. So that's position size is 1100. And these contracts, actually everybody took the play in the chat, and these contracts went up by, I think, 85% they were talking about. So let's say just 80%, right? For argument's sake, let's say 80%. What's 21 times 8? So that's roughly almost double the money, we can say. Or let's say this money turned into $3,500 and you made $1,400, for example, right? So that's $1,400 green. This is minus. Now what's the end here? I'm green on the day, $300. Sweet. And then the next trade, Apple. Then the next trade, Meta. Everybody was printing in the chat. And this trade, another 100%. This trade, another 50%. So whatever, even the small position size that you were doing, you'll be able to make more and more money, right? But what did I do instead? I did this first one with 210 contracts. My original goal was to do 250, but I got filled in 210, and that was about $15,000 position size roughly, and I lost 50%. You know how much is that? I lost $7,500. What did I do after that? This is all done. So there's one term that, or one quote in trading, literally write this down. In trading, slow is fast. Go slow in trading if you want to go fast. All right. And this also kind of keeps your overall productivity high for the day. Like, small position size, but you catch big moves when things are trendy. You think about opportunity cost. You do not lose too much money in one given trade, and you kind of keep your momentum high. And then what would have happened today, Friday, everything went well. And what would have happened Monday or next trading day? Let's say if this is Monday and you did everything this way, like small position size, next small, and you walked away with, let's say, $1,000 green. Next day you have confidence to take the trades. Confidence to take the trades moving forward, rather than losing too much money on Monday. Now you have no confidence for Tuesday, no confidence for Wednesday, Thursday, and you just wrecked the whole thing up for yourself. Does it make sense? This would have been an alternate scenario, and I literally think about, in alternate scenarios, what would have I done different, or what would I do different the next time, right? It's very important to kind of, whenever you're journaling, to go and ask yourself certain questions. What would I do different next time? If that makes sense, right? Now, I totally understand losses, and I tell this to everybody as well. Losses are part of trading. Loss is always going to happen. But what's important is that you should be able to learn from them and improve your strategies or your rules from them, right? You should be able to improve your strategies or your rules from those for moving forward. So next trading day should be a little bit better. Now, I hope for you all, sharing this whole thing was a little bit helpful. And also, if you want to see, and this is not me trying to flex or anything, it's just quickly, this is what I was kind of going through. $70, $1,000 out, 203, 7%, and Nav took a trade with me on SPY. I'm sorry, Nav, but Amber said, in just a week of trading, I banked more money than ever. Absolute game changer, $4,100. And then we had Scotty, made $2,900. Now everybody at this stage is printing in my chat, and this is what I was kind of going through. So I love when my students make money. I absolutely love it. That's the best thing ever. But what's another cool thing is that they knew that I was wrong, and they knew I went through a little bit of a loss. They knew that, let's not, I don't like this. Yes, I know what he's watching, but I just don't like this. I'm not gonna take this trade. Let him take this trade by himself. And I'm happy that they did, because I had emotions. That doesn't mean everybody in the chat gotta have emotions as well, because they know how to trade now. They're my students. They know how I trade. It's just I was having a bad day. That doesn't mean the whole chat had to have a bad day. So they did their own thing, even while I was on The Voice, and I did my own thing. And hey, everybody made money while I lost a little bit of money. Now, I hope me sharing this experience with you and understanding the realities of trading, it kind of prepares you for your own journey, because your journey is more important to you, and this is me sharing my journey. Now remember, every single trader faces losses. Every single trader. It's just how you handle them that sets you apart. Some people, after they lose, they go all nuts, right? Some people, after they lose, they sit down and like literally assess the whole thing. That's what I did, and that's what I made a video about. It's just how you handle them, right? So thank you for watching, and I hope this video was helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below if you have ever faced a similar challenge, and if you learned something from this video. Leave a comment, I'll greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you soon. All right, peace, goodbye.